Hello and welcome to Martyn Lucas Investor. My name is Sensei, and you are watching the Morning Forecast Show, live every single trading morning, 2 hours before the opening bell and 1 hour before Martyn goes live with his opening bell show. So thank you everyone for tuning in. Let's get straight into today's morning forecast. We'll go over to our very own newsletter. There is a free plan. There is also 25% off the premium plan. First link in the description. Let's get straight into it. If you have just tuned in, can everyone please hit that like button? It takes a second and it really does help. So make sure you have hit the like button. So a few things to go over today. We've got the portfolio challenge, which is kicked off. We are in the market. We've got the framework. I'm not going to go through it all. Remember, most of this is for the premium members of the newsletter. I'm going to touch on a few things, give you my thoughts in a second. We've also got today's newsletter out, and the top stories are Musk merges SpaceX with XAI. So what we're actually going to do is create a video for the breaking news stories of today, and then we'll move on to the copper story. So let's get straight into it. Breaking news on Martyn Lucas Investor. We're going to be looking at the top stories of today, Tuesday, the 3rd of February, the top movers in the market as well. So let's get straight to our very own newsletter. If you do want to get this, there is a free plan of the newsletter, first link in the description. So go check it out. Musk is merging SpaceX with XAI. He's done it, and we know the valuation. So Elon Musk combines his ventures into a 1.25 trillion engine to fund orbital AI development. We've then got metals recover after violent crash. Gold and silver rebound as dip buys offset liquidations triggered by the Fed chair news, and then continued by increased margin requirements that were put on investors. That was last Friday, and today we are seeing a recovery in that market. We've also got news on Trump and Modi after a violent crash. Gold and silver, Trump and Modi reset trade. New Delhi gets lower tariffs after pledging to swap Russian oil for American supply. Another top story here, OpenAI hunts for NVIDIA alternatives. Major story here. The firm seeks specialized chips to fix latency issues and cut high inference costs. That's going to have an impact on the AI space, especially NVIDIA. We are expecting OpenAI to IPO later this year. White House Crypto Summit. We saw a big meeting yesterday. It was not covered. It was behind closed doors. Remember, if there is any time there's a meeting going on, XRP related, crypto related, Trump speech related, we cover it here on the channel. So make sure you are subscribed. But we do have some information out now, and officials met with Coinbase to resolve banking disputes over high-yield stablecoin rewards. Remember, Brian Armstrong pulled his support for the bill after those rewards were not how he wanted them to be. And then our top story today, copper faces massive supply crisis. Global demand for AI and EVs will soon outpace stagnant mining production and declining grades. So what we're going to do is go through each of these stories. We'll give you a brief overview of each of those stories, and we'll put it as separate videos. So if you liked any of these top stories, we're going to be covering more of them. Just keep an eye out in the description, and then we can cover more of these stories, and then go over to the copper stories as well. So again, I'll put the link to the newsletter down here. You can get a free plan or get the 25% off. I'll put the link to the playlist of the top stories today here. But until next time, as always, take care of yourselves and each other. Okay, guys, thank you everyone for tuning in live. What we're doing is going through all the top stories and then coming over to copper. So again, if you're watching live, you've got the front row seat to all of this being made. Let me see who's here. Yolanda's here. Silver Days XRP. David Hensley, good morning to you. Human Being Liz. Hungover Star. Lux is here as well. MCX is here. Rob Brennan, incredibly bullish on copper. Yes, so am I, Rob Brennan. Yeah, we're going to talk about copper in a bit. I'm glad to hear that you're also bullish on it. Also, have you watched? I haven't, but I will keep an eye on it. I might watch it Hello, everyone in the world. It says Liz, Rhino Skin is here. Tidy Big Dog is here. Lovely to have you here. Tidy Big Dog. Potato Fan's here. Jamie Reese is here. Yeston is here as well. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. Let's go into our top stories for a bit more information. I think I made a bit of a mistake, but that's fine. I was going to cover the winners and losers in that video, but that's fine. Should we put it in? We'll put it in. And now let's move on to the winners versus losers of today. Some of the big market movers today. Who are they? Well, Sidhu Space rose on positive momentum related to defense spending sentiment and the integration of its LizzieSat 4 AI payload. We've been covering Sidhu Space for a while now, and it has had a nice bounce today. We've got ticker symbol TER, Teradyne Incorporated, surged after delivering a significant earnings beat and raising guidance well above on strong AI-driven robotics demand. We've also got Woodard, ticker symbol WWD, up 20%, rallied after reporting physical first quarter results that beat expectations and raising its full year sales and earnings guidance. We've got TerraWolf, the Bitcoin mining company, ticker symbol WLF, Wolf, moved higher following an announcement of major capacity acquisitions that doubled its infrastructure portfolio to 2.8 gigawatts. We've also got Wheaton Precious Metals Corp. We're going to see a trend here about precious metals and copper miners moving up today after our announcement yesterday of buying copper to our premium members on the newsletter. If you do want to follow that portfolio challenge, it's the first link in the description. It's 25% off. Again, it's not financial advice, but I am trying to grow a portfolio of 5,000 up to 100,000, then onto a million. So I'll be sharing all my research on there. Again, never financial advice. But Wheaton Precious Corp up 7%. We've got Anglo Ego Mines up 8%. We've got Barrick Mining Corporation up 6%. We've got Freeport, a big copper miner, up 5% today. Palantir, a surprise beat. Yesterday, we covered the earnings live on the show, and Palantir jumped 9% on the beat. We've got Newmont, another miner, up 6%. Intel up 10% as well. Very interesting. The AI space is moving up on the day. And we've also got Southern Corporation up 6.09% today. Then we've got the losers for the day. Massimo Group shares plunged after the company reported a severe revenue miss and announced the resignation of CFO Dr. Yu Han Chen. That's Mamo, down 55%. We've got Eaton Corporation down 5%, Rambus down 8%, and Stable Offshore Corp down 14% due to an ongoing legal and regulatory uncertainty surrounding a Californian pipeline restart following a state attorney general lawsuit. We've got Wix shares decreased as investors weighed a massive $2 billion share buyback against concerns regarding valuation and long-term growth investment, and that's Wix down as well. Some of the numbers we need to keep an eye on today is 17.9 years. That's the average lead time from discovery of a copper deposit to reaching first production is now 18 years. The brutal timeline means new supply cannot quickly respond to price spikes, locking in long-term structural shortages, and that's one of the metals we need the most in electrification for AI in the data centers, in the power grids, and it takes way too long for it to come out. So if the demand's there, the supply isn't, then obviously we are expecting the price to go up. So a severe structural deficit is emerging as copper demand outpaces stagnant production. We'll be moving on to that story in a second. If you do want to check it out, I'll put a link to it up here where we look at copper and also all the other breaking news stories of today up here. But until next time, take care of yourselves and each other. Okay, let me go back to your comments and let's go over to the breaking stories of today and then over to copper. The big story today. If you have just tuned in, can everyone please hit the like button as well? Vote in the poll. What do you think of copper? Are you bullish, bearish, or not sure? Let me know in the poll. Human being Liz is here. Mining haven't even announced Q4 earnings yet. Yes, Jerry, thank you for that. Um, it's all based off what their earnings will be because of generally in the mining industry, if you see the asset price rising, it generally means they are going to provide better guidance. All the analyst estimates are based off previous targets for gold, silver, copper, which were way lower than where we are right now. So all of these companies are now rising into their earnings. One effect of copper pricing rises is that cable theft has become a bigger problem for rail lines, EV charging hubs, etc. Yes, that is a certain problem, DJ Haynes, especially here in the UK, but I'm sure it's all around the world. What copper companies are investing in? Potato Family. If you want to know all of that, you have to be on the newsletter. Are you not a premium member? I thought you were. Essentially, if we go over here, where should we go? If we go over here to the website sensei.news, you've got Portfolio Challenge as one of the headlines. If you go to the Portfolio Challenge, you can see the framework and you can also see the full research report we put together on. You can see how much research there is here. It's absolutely crazy. It took about a week or more than a week. I mean, way too long. Anyway, sector context. We talked about the whole sector, then we looked at the subsectors within the space, and then we picked out which subsectors we liked, and then we looked at the stocks, then we looked at the charts, then we looked at the holdings, then we looked at the balance sheets. I mean, there's a whole playbook that we use to find these stocks. Again, I'm not going to tell you what they are. At the very end of the newsletter, you know exactly what I've bought. Again, it's not financial advice. Let's go over to our top stories of the day. Where were we? Here. If you have just tuned in, please do hit the like button. We are creating some videos that will come out later, but if you're watching live, you get the front row seat to it all. Remember, we create all our videos in our live streams because we want to keep it real, unscripted. So yeah, I hope you appreciate it. So breaking news on Martyn Lucas Investor. Musk merges SpaceX with XAI at a $1.25 trillion valuation. And at the same time, we've got OpenAI not wanting to use NVIDIA chips. So let's go straight into it. Musk merges SpaceX with XAI in a $1.25 trillion deal. What's going on with Elon Musk? Well, Elon Musk has officially consolidated his empire, merging SpaceX with his AI startup, XAI, in an all stock transaction. The new entity is valued at a staggering 1.25 trillion, combining SpaceX's $1 trillion valuation with XAI's $250 billion valuation. This merger effectively rolls XAI, which is burning $1 billion a month on infrastructure and GPUs, into a cash generative arms of SpaceX and its Starlink satellite business. The move comes just ahead of a massive IPO planned for later in 2026, where SpaceX aims to raise $50 billion. Um, by folding XAI into SpaceX, Musk is creating a vertically integrated innovation engine that covers everything from orbital rockets to large language models like Grok. This isn't just about corporate housekeeping. It is a very strategic play from Elon Musk to solve XAI's massive capital needs. $1 billion a month that they are going through burning. XAI is projected to lose $13 billion in 2025 alone due to an eye-watering cost of NVIDIA Blackwell GPUs and supercomputer clusters. By tethering XAI to Starlink, which pulled in 11.8 billion in 2025 revenue, Musk can fund AI development internally without constant dilutive venture rounds. The long-term vision involves orbital data centers, which we've seen him talk about, which is certainly the future, but he says it's a few years away. We might think it's a few more, maybe it's Elon time, so it's probably 10 years away. or maybe a little bit less. The long-term vision involves orbital data centers, which recent FCC filings for 1 million satellites. Musk claims space-based compute will be the most effective way to train AI within 3 years due to unlimited solar power and the vacuum natural cooling. It's a bold bet that the future of intelligence belongs in orbit. So we're going to keep an eye on that. That merger has now happened. What we're going to keep an eye on is SpaceX and how much they're going to be raising later this year. So keep an eye on this channel and we'll be covering it. What we're going to move over to here is the next massive story that's been unfolding, and it's Open AI, which is sparking the inference wars. So what's going on here? If you are enjoying this video so far and you like the breaking news stories, please do hit the like button. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section down below. Please do subscribe as well. You can see down here the £5,000 portfolio challenge begins. That's part of our very own newsletter where we're doing a portfolio challenge trying to move 5,000 to 100,000. I've released my full playbook on all the stocks. On my strategy to invest in stocks. Remember, we've caught 1,000% gains over and over again. Now we're going to put it into a portfolio challenge. You get full access to the daily newsletter, so you get all the news like this. You get access to the community. You get access to one-on-one DMs. You get access to the budget planner, debt planner. You get access to the training course. That will be coming out soon. You get access to the chart of the day. You get access to deep dives, you get access to all sorts, as well as the portfolio challenge. So go check it out. Currently running 25% off. There is also a free plan as well, so you can check that out as well. Let's go back to this story here. OpenAI sparks the inference war. So what's going on here? OpenAI is reportedly shopping for alternatives to NVIDIA's hardware, specifically for inference, the real-time processing that happens when ChatGPT answers a prompt. According to Reuters' investigation, the company is dissatisfied with the latency of NVIDIA's GPUs when handling specialized tasks like software development. While NVIDIA dominates the training phase of AI, its external memory architecture creates bottlenecks that slows down responses. OpenAI's goal is eventually shift roughly 10% of its inference needs to specialized chips with high speed on chip memory. This frustration likely fuels OpenAI's recent $10 billion deal with Cerberus, signaling a move away from total reliance on the NVIDIA ecosystem. Let's just pivot to NVIDIA's chart for a second and see if this has had any effect on their stock price. NVIDIA did drop 2.8% yesterday, but it's trying to gain back. So not a major effect on the stock price, but certainly very, very concerning in my opinion. The shift matters because inference spending is expected to eventually dwarf training costs as AI models move from development to mass daily use. If specialized hardware can deliver faster and cheaper, NVIDIA's iron grip on AI margins could start to slip. We're already seeing the fallout. NVIDIA recently blocked OpenAI's talks with startup Groku by swooping in with a $20 billion licensing deal for Grok's intellectual property. Meanwhile, Google stock rose as investors realized that its in-house TPU chips already provide the exact speed advantage of that OpenAI is hunting for. So people are moving away from essentially NVIDIA, potentially. This could be a trend we're seeing, move away from NVIDIA. The OpenAI funding round could get a bit worse because they do have a problem here, and they move into Google. And Google has been, for the last 4 or 5 months, the biggest player in AI or the most advanced in AI. And as we can see, Google's chart looks completely different to NVIDIA's, which is up, 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 new all-time highs today on that news. So the era of one chip monopoly is fading as the industry realizes that one size does not fit all for every AI task. So those are a couple of the top stories. We've also got the White House story within the newsletter. So if you want to check out the other stories, the White House story, the tariff story with India, the crash to recovery, you can all get it for free. First link in the description. I'll leave a link to what we're going on to next, which is copper and the £5,000 portfolio challenge up here, and something else over here, which is probably the daily news. But until next time, the newsletter will be down here as well for you to check out. Take care of yourselves and each other. Let's go back to the live chat. Let's go on to copper. Let me read everyone's comments before we do. Mining, yep. Did you see SanDisk one day? I mean, yeah, SanDisk is incredible. Remember, we actually covered the fact how important memory is about 2 months ago on one of our newsletters. And oh my God, I wish I took a position. I don't know why I didn't. I was too busy working on the newsletter than actually looking at my portfolio. But now with the portfolio challenge, it's part of the newsletter, so I can keep an eye out on these. What am I looking at? SanDisk. Yeah, SanDisk is incredible. SanDisk. Who knew that SanDisk will have such a great comeback? Oh God, SanDisk since the beginning, since January 2026, it's up 200%. Oh my God, in a month, it's up 200%. Congratulations to all SanDisk holders. I am very, very jealous. Let's go over to the live chat and then we'll come over to the copper story. Do you think SBC's default position is now bankruptcy? I think yes. Yeah, I think the most likely outcome of SBC goes to zero. Does that mean I wouldn't invest in SBC? No, it just means the risk to reward is the risk is zero and the reward is $100. So if it was more likely to succeed, SBC, and if the market was more likely for it to succeed, then that would mean it would probably go to $100. So if there was a 10% chance it would succeed, then it would be priced at $10 today. It's not priced at $10 today. So the most likely outcome is, unfortunately, we love the technology and everything. Most likely option is probably going to go bankrupt or to zero. But there's a big but. When you're investing in SBC, you're not investing for guarantee, you're investing as a risk to reward situation. And the risk to reward to me, again, I'm not a financial advisor, but when I look at SBC, I go, great. It's priced as if it's going bankrupt. It's priced as if it's 95% likely, 99% likely it's going to go bankrupt. I think there's less than a 99% chance it's going to go bankrupt. I think there's a 90% chance it's going to go bankrupt. So it's priced very well for that. So therefore, I don't mind buying SBC as a risk to reward play. But yes, I do think the default position is bankruptcy. And that's well, at least that's what the market has priced in. Do I think that? Maybe, probably, but not as much as the market. So therefore, I find a reason to buy it. Ricardo says, "What do you think of the rumors that Warsh should cut interest rates by 1% this year? Bullish or bearish?" Uh, rumors that he should. I mean, I don't know what you mean, Ricardo, because some people might say he should, but can he? Probably not. I mean, he's one vote at the end of the day, so it doesn't really matter what the rumors are on what he should do. It's more about what is he going to do. If he cuts rates by 1% and he does it in a fair manner and the market doesn't think it's too risky, then great. But most likely, if he did cut rates by 1% this year somehow and managed to convince the whole board or get the majority, and the market doesn't like it because this is too fast, then essentially what you'll get is rates, the 10-year yield, which is longer term interest rates, spiral up, stock market crash. So probably not the best thing, but he can't even really do it unless all the data suggests he should and the market agrees. Potato Family says, Sensei, what copper companies are you investing in? Yes, I answered that question. Ricardo says, good morning, Banana Head. Sorry for my comments that got me timed out. What did you say, Ricardo? I didn't see. Actually, maybe don't say it again. You might get timed out again. I don't. It certainly wasn't me or Martyn. I don't know what you would have said. Human being Liz says, right, DJ, Ninja Cowboy. It might have been a mistake, Ricardo. I don't see a reason why you should have been timed out. I didn't see anything. Maybe I wasn't watching. Ninja Cowboy says, good morning, everyone. Level Up Sound Down South says, good question about SBCE. Yes, it is. And we'll be covering their earnings next week. Potato or Family, I guess I missed it. If you missed it, Potato Family, go to sensei.news and then go to the top. I'll show you again. If you go to the website, sensei.news, and then up here you can look at the XRP weekly newsletters, you can look at the morning forecast newsletters, and here you can look at the portfolio challenge. All roads lead to copper, that's what we called it. They had the numbers. No, the earnings will be next week. Human being list. Yolanda says entry 2 of the 5,000 challenge newsletter is absolutely incredibly informative. Wow, thank you, Yolanda. Really appreciate that comment. Clay Scott says, "Good morning, crypto fam." Tidy says, "Is there a pie you have? We can check." Yep, I've put the link to the pie only in the newsletter. I'm not going to share it on. Here is for the premium members. So, if you do want to get, I'll give you the link to 25% off if no one has it and wants to see what trade we did take. There's the link to the newsletter. What about copper? We're going to come on to copper. Morning, everyone. Says it's time with the people. Rob Brennan said Google is best Mag 7 stock by far. I called it before Warren Buffett. We love it. Congratulations, Rob Brennan. Tidy Big Dog, Big Bear AI. Any thoughts? I've heard good things about it. I don't know what the valuation is currently. I haven't researched it yet. Human Being Liz says, "What's this crush we're waiting for?" I thought we wait for big. Um, Human Being Liz. Again, everyone has their own opinions. Martyn called for a big crash. I said we're gonna probably get a crash as well. Q1 of 2026, Q2, first half of 2026. Certainly within crypto and probably within the stock market. So we're both pretty much in agreement that there's going to be a crash. But I don't think it's going to be caused by the carry trade. I think Martyn does. Again, it doesn't really matter what the reasons are. Me and Martyn both think that there's going to be a crash. Let me just check this and make sure that's open. That the crash is going to be coming. We've already seen the crash play out in crypto. We've hit a lot of our targets in crypto. The stock market, I think, still needs to go down lower. I bought COP. Hopefully, it can 1x in May. 1x? What's a 1x? Stay the same. Mark Saxby is here. Morning, everyone in the US. Good afternoon, Sensei. Thank you, Mark Saxby. Lovely to have you here. Love that badge, the 2-year badge. Human Being Liz says, "Get old here." Uh, Good afternoon, all, says Henrik. Good morning, Sensei. Good morning. Looking now, says it's time with the people. All I wanted to hear was about copper. 20 minutes of. Guys, can someone time this person out? What a ridiculous copper. What a ridiculous comment. 8-8 Huckley Berry. What a ridiculous comment. We're obviously going to come on to copper. There's other news we want to start with. What a ridiculous comment from 8-8. Have some patience. It's a 1-hour show. We're going to come on to it. Wow. Humig Liz says, "Good tag, Henrik." Sorry, looking at my newsletter now. Brilliant. Yeah, guys, if you have the newsletter, make sure you reply to it. You move it out your spam. Now there's AI categories on pretty much all inboxes. Go find the newsletter. We've sent one out last night. We sent one out this morning. Go and find it and then move it to your primary mailbox. That way you won't lose it. Henrik says, "Good day, Liz." Dang. Good time to go all in. I never go all in, but I don't give financial advice either. I don't know your situation. It's time we the people know we're going to $2 XRP, then back down to 160, 150. Thanks, Sensei, says Liz. Morning, anyone. It's time the people, these people. I don't even want to cover copper now that person came in, but we were going to anyway. So let's continue. Let's go over to copper. We've got through all the live comments. Okay, we're going to be going over to Martyn in half an hour. So let's make this. It's going to be a video, but it's obviously going to come out later. But as you're watching it live, we are live right now, Tuesday, the 3rd of February in the morning. So you get a front row seat to it. So we've got the portfolio challenge number 2 here. Portfolio challenge number 1 here. We've got the copper deep dive there. Can I get the portfolio? Oh, that would be interesting. Can I get the portfolio on the screen as well? I think I can. Phone mirroring. How do I do it? Give me a second. Let me see if I can put trading 2 on the screen as well. Let's see if this works. Okay, let's connect here. Bear with me. I'm trying to bring up the portfolio on the screen. Yeah, I think we've got it. Let's see how that looks. Um, like that. There we go. There's the stocks and shares ISA on the screen. Not a bad day, actually. Let's go over here then. Breaking news on Martyn Lucas Investor. We have kicked off the £5,000 portfolio challenge. It is a fun challenge we're doing live on the show and in the newsletter. We are not giving alerts. I'm giving away my full research within the newsletter. And today, our first purchase was made in the copper industry. Remember, I never give financial advice. Remember, I'm not telling you to buy. Remember, past performance isn't a guarantee of future performance. I have a very high capacity for loss, meaning I don't mind if I lose all my money. So please be careful. But let's go into our copper analysis and go straight into our portfolio challenge, which is going to be on Trading 212. And here is that challenge, which is kicked off. Here is that ISA. You can see that is my real money on the screen, and we are invested in the copper industry. Let me tell you more. Oh, that is the wrong, the War on Ripple and Epstein files. Let me remove that because that is in regards to a video we did the other day. So let's continue. Let's go over to copper. If you do want to see those Epstein files revealed and the Bitcoin Satoshi revealed, I'll put a link for that in the description because that was a very interesting story. But today we're focused on copper, copper miners, and the metal of the future. All roads lead to copper. All roads lead to copper. You can see that we've got a pie called All Roads Lead to Copper down there, and we've got some other holdings in that stocks and shares ISA. But let me tell you first about our research process and why I am investing in copper. So the metals future is facing a supply crisis. Copper doesn't make headlines like gold or generate social media frenzy like silver. It's an industrial workhouse, not a speculative plaything. But beneath the surface, copper may be the most important commodity story in the next 2 decades. The world needs dramatically more of it, and there simply isn't enough coming out the ground. There is a massive demand shock. We're going to come over to the portfolio challenge because I'll give you a link, first link in the description, 25% off. You can get all of the research. So this is the portfolio challenge. I'll come back straight to the copper in a second. The portfolio challenge. The way I'm doing this is I'm using my own playbook, the way I do it. So essentially, we're starting with 5,000. We're trying to get it to 100,000, then get it to a million. And the mission is the challenge is not to chase lottery outcomes or forcing trades. It's about identifying situations where the business fundamentals justify ownership, the sector dynamics provide a tailwind, and the price offers an asymmetric risk to reward setup. So I've got a full framework. Step one, we look at the sector. We ask all the questions we need to. Then we look at the subsectors because you need to be in subsectors to actually compare them. Numbers by themselves and looking at a balance sheet by itself means nothing if you don't compare it to its peers within the same subsector. So we ask the questions, we compare the financials of each of those companies that we like. We like the sector. We look at the ownership of each of the companies. What does each company represent? What does it do? We look at the charts, the execution. So we do that for every one of our newsletters that come out in this series. So it's not a signal service and it's deliberately not one. Essentially, what we're trying to do is see how strong sectors are, identify them early, how the businesses are filtered and compare before capital is committed, how the charts are used to plan entries, exits, and positioning, and how ideas evolve over time. So we'll be doing deep dives into them, and then I'll be releasing my research and my buys. I'll be giving you monthly updates on the portfolio where we're at. I'll give you Q&As on hosted live on Substack as well, based off this and the training course we have in the newsletter. But there it is. Entry 2 came out last night, and it's all about this. So this is entry 2 of the £5,000 portfolio challenge. This is the first actual deployment of capital. If you missed it, entry 1 laid the framework, the step-by-step process used to analyze sectors, filter companies, and execute positions. This entry puts that framework into practice with copper. Initially, I actually started with precious metals and copper, but when we look when we're researching precious metal miners and copper miners, copper just certainly needed its own research. So we started with copper, and that's how we got there. Um, Again, not financial advice. And then we go into the whole newsletter. So you've got the sector context. What is the sector all about? We answer all those questions. We look at the subsector analysis. What's all the subsector about? We look at the subsectors that we like. We've got a PDF for the ones that we discarded. So you can still see the research for the ones that I didn't like the look of, the subsectors, not even the companies yet. Then we compare the numbers. So you can see we have all the balance sheet. We compare the numbers of the ones within the same subsector, because remember, you can't just look at a balance sheet and make a determination. You have to look at it within subsectors to compare it with its peers. Then we looked at which ones we liked within the subsectors. Then we looked at specific copper spot, copper ETFs, side by side comparisons, top holdings. You've got PDFs in there as well for extra so what I'm going to do, I've got all my orders there and the pie on Trading 212 all within the newsletter. So that was a brief look at that. But what I'm going to tell you about is why I am bullish on copper. A lot of that is within that full framework, but we've got a separate deep dive here today. Global copper demand currently sits at roughly 28 million tons annually. Remember, if you want to get that, all those newsletters, if you're a premium member, if you just go to the website, sensei.news, you can see it as the portfolio challenge. If you want to become a premium member, we're running 25% off. First link in the description. You also get access to the portfolio challenge, the training course, the daily newsletters, the daily deep dives, daily charts, the budget planner, debt planner, all the perks and benefits, one-on-one DMs. You get access to the community, all of that as part of the premium tier. Okay, now we can come on to the copper analysis. So global copper demand currently sits at roughly 28 million tons annually. S&P Global projects that figure will reach 42 million tons by 2040, a 50% increase. The drivers are structurally and largely irreversible. Artificial intelligence is surprisingly copper hungry. Remember, I said I love AI. AI is going to change the world. There's going to be a time without AI. There's going to be a time after AI. And it's not like the dot-com era, because these companies are generating money. It's going to change the way we live. All of that is great. But there is a lot of AI companies out there that are just based off hype. You don't know which ones to pick, this, that, and the other. What we do know is whatever the AI company is, and we know AI as a whole is going to do well. So what does AI require? We looked at it that way, and it says it requires copper. It requires data centers. It requires electrification. And what is needed when you need data centers and electrification? Upgrading the grids, copper is needed, and there isn't enough copper. So there's where it initially came out of. So artificial intelligence is surprisingly copper hungry. More than gold, more than silver. Artificial copper is what's needed. AI data centers consume far more power than traditional facilities. Make sure that's there. Uh, and that power infrastructure requires massive amounts of copper for cooling systems and cabling. AI data centers need 27 to 33 tons of copper per megawatt of power capacity. By 2026, these facilities alone are projected to consume 475,000 tons annually, up from 110,000 tons in 2025. You can see that's a 4x increase in just a year. Electric vehicles multiply demand. A single EV requires 2.9 times more copper than a conventional gasoline car, roughly 80 to 90 kilograms per vehicle. By 2040, EVs alone will demand 6.3 million tons of copper annually. Renewable energy scales and scales the further requirement. A single gigawatt wind project requires approximately 2,866 tons of copper. Solar installations, while less copper incentives per megawatt, are being deployed at unprecedented scale globally. The grid itself needs rebuilding. This is perhaps the most underappreciated factor. Upgrading the global power grid to handle intermittent renewable sources and data centers will drive 60% of all copper demand growth through 2030. The world effectively needs to double its grid capacity to accommodate for the energy transition. Defense spending adds price in inelastic demand. Modern warfare is copper intensive. Drones, electronics, munitions, and communication systems all require substantial copper inputs, and we know that they're raising the amount they're investing in defense as well. So here's the issue. If there was just copper just coming out all the time, it wouldn't be an issue. More demand and more supply doesn't matter. But there is a massive supply crisis. If demand were the only story, prices would simply rise until responded. But copper has a supply problem that cannot be solved quickly, regardless of the price. The timeline is brutal. The average lead time from discovering a copper deposit to first production has lengthened 18 years. That's how long it takes from when you find a copper deposit to when you can actually use it is 18 years. Even if copper spiked to about $20 per pound tomorrow and triggered a global exploration rush, meaningful new supply could not arrive until 2040. Best case scenario, copper is the most expensive thing on earth, and everyone goes out and finds copper and they want to get it out and sell it. Well, it's going to take them 20, nearly 20 years. The mines that will supply copper in 2035 need to be discovered years ago. Many weren't. Copper wasn't being discovered. They stopped copper exploration because the money wasn't there. Now it is. Ore quality is declining. This is another issue. The average grade of mined copper ore has fallen approximately 45% over the last 30 years, from around 1.2% copper content to below 0.7% today. This means miners must now extract and process nearly twice as much of rock to produce the same amount of metal. It's a treadmill that consumes capital and energy while output remains flat. Capital intensity has doubled. Despite record spending by major miners, typically 5 to 8 billion annually, global production has essentially stagnated. Companies are spending twice as much to replace depleted reserves and maintain current output levels. The project pipeline is insufficient. Current announced projects will fall 30% short of projected demand by 2035 under current policy settings. The gap between what's planned and what's needed is measured in millions of tons. Exploration has collapsed. Smelters are paying miners. So, what's the actual reality here? Well, analysts project global refined copper deficit of roughly 330,000 tons in 2026, with a cumulative shortfall potentially reaching 10 million tons by 2040. US copper premiums hit record highs in early 2026, $1.30 per pound above global prices, as traders scramble to secure physical metals ahead of potential tariffs. The incentive price, what copper must trade at to justify new building new price, has risen to $4.50 to $5.50 per pound due to inflation and declining ore grades. Prices cannot stay below this level for extended periods without choking off investment needed for future supply. Major miners have responded not by building new mines, but by buying each other. We've seen all the things there as well. Of course, there's risk to this. China's consumes roughly 60% of the supply, the consumes about 60% of the supply. Um, Maybe in the future we're going to see more of that transition to aluminium, the copper that's needed, and of course there's so many geopolitical concentration risks about mines and also regions there is. But the bottom line is copper sits at the intersection of a major economic transformation underway: electrification, artificial intelligence, renewable energy, and defense modernization. The demand trajectory is visible and largely locked in by policy commitments and technological adoption curves. The supply response, however, is constrained by geology, permitting timelines, and decades of underinvestment in exploration. The mismatch cannot be resolved quickly. For investors watching the commodity space, copper's fundamentals deserve serious attention. The metal that wows the modern world may be entering a structural shortage that takes years to resolve. So, that is, I've tried to break it down to make it very simple why I think I'm bullish on copper miners, the copper industry. Then that's just a deep dive on copper itself. There is the full framework for the sector analysis, the subsectors in copper, and then my full playbook, and then my trading 212 pie and my purchases are all on the newsletter. So if you do want to grab it, I'll leave a link down here for the newsletter. It's also the first link in the description. You can get 25% off. I'll put a couple videos up here for you to have a look at the breaking news of today. But good luck. This is just a fun challenge. I wish you all the best of luck in your research. Take care of yourselves and each other. Okay, let's go over to live chat. What does everyone think about copper then? Can I bring this back on the screen over here? How are we doing? We are up. We started with 5,000. We're at 5,036. We're up. We're up. We're up. Guys, this is going to be a bit of a roller coaster. Of course, I'm not looking for short term strategy. I'm not looking to make daily trades or go all in, stuff like that. I'm looking to build a long term portfolio. So essentially, we might be up today, we might be down tomorrow, we might be at 3,000 in a month's time, we might be at 10,000 and then drop to 5. It's a long term portfolio. So I'm going to continue doing the research, find companies I want to hold for the long term. If they hit certain levels, I might buy more. If they hit certain levels to the upside, I might sell. I put all of that in the newsletter. But it's going to be volatile, but let's enjoy the up days. And we're up today at the moment. And it's actually very annoying because yesterday we did the research. The research was ready to publish, I think the day before, but something came up and I couldn't publish it, so I didn't do the buys. And I did the buys last night, which means they did it on market open here in the London Stock Exchange. But the miners were already up 5% in pre-market. So even so, we would have been up a lot more if the buys were executed just one day before. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter because it's a long-term portfolio. Um, is this only in the UK? Nope, it is global. You get the all of them are all. The one I'm using, Trading 212, I'm here in the UK, so of course I have to use a UK exchange, but the investments within it are not UK based. Let me go through some of these comments. On the Walsh subject, I read that he goes off different data than current Fed. I'm not very sure what he goes off, but it looked like he wanted to ignore employment data. I could be wrong though. Yeah, I haven't seen that. That would be strange. Um, at the end of the day, he's just one person. He'll have to convince the whole board or the majority of the board to vote with him. And he's previously been a hawk, which is why the market was a bit worried about him. Mark Satsby says, great to be here this morning with the family. Finally, everyone has gone home after Christmas/New Year. Rush of visitors. Wow. Wow, that's a long time. Christmas seems like a year ago now. It was a year ago, but it seems like a long time ago. It's lovely to be surrounded with family, though, but I can understand if they've been there for a month. Yolanda says, hello, Casey. Casey says, hi, Liz. Good afternoon. Lovely to have Casey here in the show. Daddy Pascal says, Trading 212 is the best. DDAB says, will you advise ETFs or stocks for copper? No rush. Please don't block me. Why would I block you? Oh, were you the one who... Oh, no, the other person was being completely rude. You're just asking a question. I don't give advice. I don't know what's right for you. I'm just documenting what I'm doing. So I apologize. I can't actually answer your question anyway. Human Being Liz says, merci. Casey says, hello, Yolanda. Sensei, your newsletter yesterday was insanely insightful. You flipping crushed everybody's else's newsletter. David Hensley, really do appreciate it. I'll give everyone the link to... where is it? Is it still pasted? Yeah, that's the 25% off offer we're running right now. Good afternoon, everyone. Great show again. Thank you very much, Jim Ricketts. Zach Zate is here. Lovely to have Zach Zate here. Human Being Liz says, I look as well still for an ETF for copper without mining companies. I forgot the name, but we'll find back. Human Being Liz, there will be alternatives in every jurisdiction. If you want to send me a DM on the newsletter, I can help you. Again, not as financial advice, but if you're asking me a question, I can answer the question. Ricardo, am I the only one left who's excited? Am I the only one that's excited about this portfolio challenge? Ricardo, I'm very excited. Guys, are you excited about the portfolio challenge? I'll be sharing the portfolio live on the show, but obviously the trades won't be. Let me know, yes or no. Everyone's asleep this morning. Where is everyone? Is no one excited about the portfolio challenge? Ricardo is, I am. Is anyone else? Yes or no in the chat? Are you excited? You're allowed to spam the chat, yes or no. Morning, says Human Liz. Calandros is here. Zach say hype mark year has already started, full power, breaking records, all of the Lucasades. Juan says collect all your 1 cent pennies. Tidy Big Dog says platinum and palladium thought. I haven't done enough research into them. I probably will be doing. Zach8 says, "Hi Liz, have a lovely day. Hungover star. I love the portfolio challenge. I'm learning a lot already. It's helping me fine tune my strategy." Wow, appreciate the comment. I'm glad you're enjoying it. Nonny is here. Nonny, lovely to have you here. Human Being Liz says, "Thank you. Already back home to chill after shopping morning." Zach8 says, "Liz, did you shop in the real market outside with people talking to you and the line at the cashier?" Was it a market or was it a supermarket? I think Zach8's asking. David Hensley says, "Awesome, man. Glad to hear it. I'm glad that you keep showing up. What if, where's best to buy?" I don't know what that is. Jeffrey says, "First Quantum Minerals." Tidy Big Dogs says, "I love the name. Sometimes my head feels the same. Good luck." Oh, hungover star. Daddy Pascal says, "No, not copper for me, but I bought some ASML and Bestie, 1.5% of my portfolio. Congratulations to you. Good luck to you." In fact, Human Being Liz says, "Yes, in real and great weather with sun and ice cold. Trying nice perfumes, not compared to online, right?" Oh, right, yeah. Maybe that's what Zach said it meant. Human Being Liz, I meant Pascal. Where were we? So cool says Zach8. Human Being says, "Zach, call in." What's going on? Human Being says, "Sensei Copperfield." Um, Potato Family says, "Is this only in the UK?" I've already answered this. No, it's not in the UK. This is global companies. Mark Zaxby says, "Morning. I'm in the UK. My portfolio is in the UK. Um, just bought 344 shares of FCX. What's FCX? Is SBC Virgin Galactic? They should merge powers. Is SBCE is Virgin Galactic. 63, 68 a share. Your thoughts on price, Sensei? Is it a good price? What at 63, 68? With the portfolio challenge, I'm not really don't care about short-term prices as a long-term portfolio. I just bought. I didn't really care. I just bought because that's the allocations I wanted and I wanted to be in. Good day to buy in an XRP, price going up or down. I don't give advice. Human Being Liz says, "Wow, Casey, where is this?" I'll just tell you wow I buy and I put it into the Substack. This is the community page um on Substack. And there's two separate things. I'll just tell you randomly when I'm buying different things, and then there's the official portfolio challenge, which is this £5,000 portfolio. But I bought not now. I bought when it hit our support. I think I told everyone here. Yeah, I told you where I bought my silver and gold, $76 on silver last week, where we now eight. Oh God, look at that. We bought at $76 last week. That's up 24% in a week, and I'd put that into there. Same with gold, 4,750. I'm 100% certain that's up as well. Yeah, 4,750. 8%, whatever. XRP levels. I put all my XRP levels in the chat as well. Where was it? 155, I think I bought last. I gave everyone about a warning. Guys, remember, whether you're in Discord, Substack, X, we don't message you personally. We don't message you. So if anyone talks to you about changing your setting, these are the red flags, guys. Just always remember this: red flags. If you ever see Martyn or me message you, which we don't, but if you think we are messaging you, here are the red flags to be aware of anywhere: giving away passwords, changing your settings in Discord, changing your settings anywhere, moving your money around, talk about money. We don't give you advice, telling you to move your money, talking about specific crypto coins and telling you to invest in them. We don't do that anywhere. Those are red flags. And if you ever are about to do anything and you're just like, "Oh, I really think it's Martyn or Sensei," you can double check. We're always live. So come into the live chat and say, "I'm doing this. Am I speaking to you?" Or if you're about to, if something's go, if you want to know instantly, you can send a super chat. Say, I'm about to do this. I'm talking to you, right? Most of the time, we'll say, no, we're definitely not talking to you. Um, but yeah, red flags, anything about moving money, changing your settings, telling you to invest in certain things. That's not us. We don't do that. Yeah. Then we talked about the altcoins I bought, where I bought them. So yeah, that's I don't tell you what to do. I don't know what's right for you. I'm just sharing my experience. And we bought XRP at 155. Now it's at 160. Do I want to buy more now? No, I've already bought enough. The next level I'm buying is probably at 140, which is we might get a nice bounce and then we might drop all the way back down there. I think we're gonna get a link from Martyn in a second. I'll be ending the show in just a few moments' time. Let me close the poll as well. Mark, I got it. Mark, I got the next reply. Human Being List says, oh, okay, nice to learn. Mark Saxby says, do you pivot to bit? Sudden static in the room messes everything up. Do you see a pivot to Bitcoin once many have realized some good profit selling? I don't see the narrative of people take profits from Google from Bitcoin from gold and move it into Bitcoin. I don't see I don't see that as a certain narrative. I know people are talking about it. That is a narrative that's going on, but I don't actually seeing that playing out. I think if gold and silver dump, Bitcoin and stuff will dump as well until they find their local bottoms, and then we're on uptrend. For quite a while, I've been saying Bitcoin will definitely go below 100,000. I think I was talking to you about this, Mark Saxby. I'm very confident Bitcoin will go to 100,000. Now we've finally hit one level I'm sort of more comfortable with. What is that level? 75,000. It was the area of the short between 90,000 to 96. That was on our FOMC cheat sheet again for our premium members there. But anyway, even if you don't short or whatever, you're aware of what the market structure was saying towards the downside. We've at least hit our first target of an area that I'm interested in buying. And I did actually buy Bitcoin for the first time since 3 years ago at 75,000, 74,000, because I think that's the first target. How much lower can we go? Well, we can draw out different Fibonacci's. I don't know where they all are. I don't think I've got them on this chart, but we can go as low as 50,000. We can go, I mean, we can go to, we can't get to zero, but I'm not the biggest fan of Bitcoin at the end of the day. But I do respect its position as king of the crypto market. So I don't mind holding some, but not for the same reasons others do. Anyway, 75,000, I bought some. Uh, and it can probably most likely go down as low as 50,000. So I've bought some at 70,000, 75,000, and it might go to 50,000 unless there's some crazy Satoshi unload or crazy stories come out and push it lower, or MicroStrategy gets margin called for whatever reason, which again I don't think they will, even if it goes below their prices, and we get a massive liquidation event, we might go lower than 50,000. But in just a normal scenario without any black swan, 75,000 I think is a good buy, and then towards 50,000 I'll still buy more at 50,000. I don't see it going lower than 50,000 without a black swan. So I've actually started entering Bitcoin positions. But I think if gold and silver dump, Bitcoin will dump too. I don't see a specific rotation from gold and silver into crypto. I don't see that narrative play out until a bottom's found, and then everyone will reallocate their money or however they want. Good morning, Sensei. Oh, Mark actually said that'll be awesome, Zach. Exciting. Yes. Oh, you guys are excited about it. Yes. Henrik says yes. Casey says yes. DJ Haynes says yes. Oh, everyone's excited. I thought no one was excited. We're excited. That's good. Oh, why are the super chats not playing? Oh, I didn't have it on. We've got a couple of super chats in the. I haven't even seen them. Let me scroll down to two. Yes, says Ricardo. Tidy Big Dog says yes. Kembley says yes. Ricardo says we. Morning, guys, says Nick Jones. I'm the yes man today. On the portfolio challenge, will you be using options and leverage? I will not be using options or leverage. I mean, I don't want to rule anything out. It's a flexible framework, but I'm not doing options because Trading 212 doesn't offer options in the first place. But leverage, I'm not going to be using leverage in the same way you would on Robinhood. Maybe if I see a short-term narrative and there's specific leveraged funds, for example, you can get a 3x copper ETF, or you can get a 3x short. I mean, I don't think I'm going to be using them, but the door's open. If the fund is there, I won't be using leverage on my whole portfolio. I might be in a specific position. Don't want to rule anything out. Probably not. Most likely not. I'm not at the moment. Maybe I will. Frank Muff says, ha, ha. Ricardo says yes, but in German. Oh, there is one of the super chats. Frank and Muff says, thanks for all the hard work, Sensei. Thank you so much. Yeah, the newsletter took so long, but I think it's gonna get easier and we can get more buys in. I've got the full framework in place now. Kalandros says, appreciate all the hard work on the deep dives and the information. Thank you so much, Kalandros. Oh, guys, you're being so kind. Thank you. Really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Um, let me see. Is Martyn live? Oh, Martyn's going to be going a bit later today. I think he'll be going in an hour. Okay. Uh, yes, Sensei reading all about. No, I left. I didn't read the premium newsletter. That was just a brief synopsis of copy. I mean, the actual newsletter is 20 times more information. Half of it's discarded because I don't need to use it. It's in PDFs. Well, it's not relevant to the ones I bought, but it's still good reading. Separate Sensei Copperfield. Copper FCX. FCX. Oh God, yeah, no, sorry. Now I know. Freeport. Freeport. I haven't memorized all the ticker symbols yet. Freeport. Yeah, I like Freeport. Yeah, 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 yeah. Not saying that's all the portfolio or whatever, but yeah, Freeport is a good one. Vocal Foster says, sadly, no job changes numbers this today delayed because shutdown, no data. Yeah, shutdown delayed it. Christian says, sorry news on XRP's price, like in regards to Coinbase meeting in the White House yesterday. Nothing based off that. That's just a meeting mainly based off stable coins. Nothing that will affect XRP's price too much. Apart from, of course, when the Clarity Act gets approved. Um, but in that sense, we're still quite a way off, in my opinion. Thank you, Kalandros, for your $5 super chat. Appreciate all your hard work in the deep dives. It's my pleasure. I love doing it, and you guys support me, so I can't complain. Tidy Big Dog says Magic Slim. Will UK says yes, easy. What do you think of copper? 63% of you are bullish, 29% of you are not sure, 8% are bearish. Jamie Reese says yes. Thank you for all your hard work, says Frank and Muff. Thank you very much for all your support. Mark Saxby says, thank you, Sensei. Thank you, Mark Saxby. The Nutella, I smell shutdown will be longer than a week. Bearish, says the Nutella. I'm a little bit bearish on the market. It's not only because of the shutdown, but many other reasons. That's why I'm slowly getting into the portfolio challenge and prepared to buy more. Most of it's in cash at the moment, earning interest. Ganja says he moved it to 6. Michael copied your copy trades or in long term. Please be careful. If you're doing it, you obviously know the risk. I'm not telling you it's a great investment. I'm not telling you buy. I'm not advising you. You're probably doing it for some fun. If you're I'm not telling you what you're in for. I'm in for the long term, or until we have a parabolic run, and then I go, actually, the risk reward isn't there anymore, or until the fundamentals change. I'm in for the long term for now. Anyway, Christian Mormon says, thank you for answering my question and reading the chat. Channel is truly unmatched. Thank you, Christian Mormon. Christian Mormon. Christian. Oh, sorry, Christian Monero. Oh God, I can't. It's so small. Christian Moreno. Christian Moreno. I apologize for getting your name wrong. Thank you very much. I'll answer all the questions if I can. That's the point of the channel. We have a great community. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Go check out the newsletter. I'll give you the link. There is a free plan. If you go to the website sensor.news, you can also see exactly at the top. We now have 3 headings. You've got the heading of the XRP Weekly, where you get the XRP Weekly, the morning forecast, which is the daily newsletter, and also you get the portfolio challenge. There's 2 in there now, the full framework, and the all roads lead to copper. One final look. This is very fun. I like having a portfolio on the screen. I've been wanting to do this for the longest time. Let's put that portfolio back on the screen. Where has it gone? There it is. And we're up, so we can celebrate. Where is it? Let me go over here. No, not that one. Yeah. So there we go. It's pretty much a fresh account as well. So you can see the 5,000 was deposited. And now we are up today. Small amount, but it's still worth 0. Was it 0.5%, 5,000? Yeah, we're up, even though the copper miners were up 5% pre-market, and our buys didn't go in until aftermarket. So we would have been up a lot more, 250, 250, 200, 300 quid. But it doesn't matter. It's long term, so we are still up on the portfolio challenge. Trading 212, can you buy XRP or do you hold on an exchange? I hold on an exchange. This is mainly a stock portfolio. I'm not buying crypto within this portfolio. I just because crypto is so much more risky. I just tell people when I buy. So the other day I just said I bought XRP and a bunch of altcoins because they've come down to a level I want to buy. I don't buy altcoins willy-nilly. I don't buy them every time I buy XRP. I buy them every time there's a 50% drop in the ones I like. And there was another 50% drop, so I bought more. Can you can you might put the videos in more languages as you once did by mistake? It was great to listen. No, I think all the videos coming out in different languages. It just takes time. It's like a day or two later it comes out in different languages. Tidy Big Dog trading 212. No, no, I'm bullish on mining and commodities. So am I, Jerry. Jamie Reese says, will you keep depositing into it or you pure growth? No, I certainly will be depositing into it. This is a realistic challenge. It's what I want to do with my money. I know some people look. Most of the time, you don't make money by just trading it up. That's a dream that people want to achieve, but the issue of that dream is you just keep losing money. And actually, if you just kept adding to a long-term portfolio, you'll probably make more money. So I don't want to give the illusion that day trading and this, that, and the other will lead to you can turn £10 into £1,000,000 without depositing. That's not the realistic truth. I want to do an investing challenge the right way, which is go out, earn money, put it into a portfolio, and let it grow over the long term. That's what I'm trying to do. So yes, there will definitely be deposits, but you'll certainly be able to see what the return is on the invested capital, not just the portfolio going up because I'm putting more money in. Of course, it will, and that's also the goal to put money away for the long term. I shouldn't even care about the gains or losses for 5 years because I'm a long term investor. But you'll also see, am I green, am I red? As in, on the money I've put in, how much money have I made? So yeah. Thank you for the question. Anthony says your newsletter is like being given a bulletproof vest every morning. That's a great way to describe it. Thank you, Anthony. Really appreciate it. Um, Tiny Big Dog. It'll be awesome at like 72 countries and counting. I will check that. Not sure. Okay, Liz. Yeah, let us know. I'll talk to Martyn about it as well because I'm pretty sure he said they do come out in like it's not us speaking, but it's takes the transcript and turns it into different languages, so it looks like we're speaking, but I don't know. It's a YouTube feature. I think we've got it on though. Anyway, thank you everyone for tuning in. Really appreciate all the support. If you want to get the newsletter, I'll put the link in the live chat, first link in the description as well. Keep an eye out for the videos that come out later. Please don't get confused. If it's live, we're live and it says the live button. If it's a video, it will be under the video section and it'll say premiere, and then it'll be the videos we made during the show. You can always ask in the live chat, but when it says live, that's because we're live. When it says premiere and it has the live button, that's because it's premiering. It's the first time the video's been out. Until next time, as always, take care of yourselves and each other. Bye bye.